Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundlesssuccess to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth. It's Inauguration Day. Biden issues preemptive pardons. Hamas releases the first hostages of the ceasefire, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President-elect Donald Trump will call for a revolution of common sense during his inaugural address, according to prepared remarks, as he caps a historic comeback and embarks on an agenda that includes mass deportations, steep tariffs, and slashing the size of the federal government. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country, Trump is expected to say, according to the remarks shared with the Wall Street Journal. My message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. While a combative Trump in his 2017 address lamented American carnage, this speech has been designed to be much more optimistic, according to people familiar with the draft, though Trump is known to veer off script. At the same time, the 47th president is expected to dispense with some of the lofty rhetoric of his predecessors and describe in blunt terms what he views as the most pressing national problems and his solutions for them. President-elect Trump is expected to sign approximately 200 executive orders today, a record for first-day executive orders, wiping out most of the Biden agenda and returning the country to a solid footing. He said he would issue an executive order on Monday to reinstate TikTok in the U.S. and that he wants the country to have an ownership position in the app. Trump's comments on Truth Social come after TikTok went dark in the U.S., erasing the popular app for its American users in an unprecedented move. The app has since come back. I'm asking companies not to let TikTok stay dark, Trump wrote Sunday. He said the order would extend the period of time before the law's prohibitions take effect so that the administration can make a deal to protect our national security. Trump said the order would also confirm that there will be no liability for any company that helped keep TikTok from going dark before my order. TikTok was seeking such an assurance from the Biden administration. The president-elect said he wants the U.S. to have a 50% ownership position in a joint venture, although he didn't provide further details about how such a joint venture would be structured. By doing this, we save TikTok, he wrote. The app went dark Saturday night and returned on Sunday. In an admission that crimes had been committed, President Biden issued pardons for officials who have clashed with President-elect Donald Trump, using his final hours in the White House to help people he feared could face retribution by the incoming administration. The White House said the president had issued pardons for retired General Mark Milley, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and members and staff of the House committee that investigated the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot, as well as police officers who testified before the committee. Pardons are only given when there has been a crime committed. The first 3 Israeli hostages to be released under the ceasefire deal in the Gaza Strip were turned over by Hamas on Sunday, beginning a drawn-out process that will see 33 captives freed over the next 6 weeks in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. The ceasefire in Israel's war with Hamas went into effect earlier in the day, clearing the way for the hostages' release. Israel released 90 prisoners who had been convicted of various crimes. The halt in fighting was delayed by about 3 hours Sunday morning after Hamas failed to hand over the names of hostages it planned to release by the time the agreement was originally meant to come into effect, highlighting the challenges ahead to implementing a truce between 2 bitterly opposed sides. The ceasefire deal was drastically slanted in favor of Hamas, and experts say that because of this, the ceasefire will not hold. A jury found that CNN committed defamation against U.S. Navy veteran Zachary Young and is responsible for punitive damages on Friday after more than 8 hours of deliberation. The jury ruled Young is awarded $4 million in lost earnings, $1 in personal damages such as pain and suffering, and said that punitive damages are warranted against CNN. The jury will now proceed to Phase 2 of the trial to determine punitive damages. Lawyers on each side will have a chance to present evidence to determine those damages. Better maintenance of California's wildlands could have slowed the growth of the recent wildfires, providing critical time to first responders and evacuees, according to experts. The lack of preventative work, despite pleas from residents and warnings from people inside the government, demonstrate how little officials did ahead of a foreseeable disaster. The delays were caused by a slow-moving tangle of government agencies that own or regulate Los Angeles' undeveloped land and are tasked with mitigating wildfire risks, according to a review of public records and interviews by the Wall Street Journal. The buildup of brush and other vegetation has been a factor in wildfires all over the country. In Maui, flammable grasses fueled the 2023 inferno that wiped out Lahaina and killed 102 people. Overgrown forests near Paradise, California spread the 2018 Camp Fire that leveled that city and left 85 dead. A federal appeals court on Friday ruled against an Obama-era policy that provides amnesty and a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants who entered the U.S. as children. A 3-judge panel of the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans ruled unanimously that a new version of the policy issued by President Biden in 2022 overstepped the executive branch's authority. The decision by 2 Republican-appointed judges and 1 Democratic-appointed judge is the latest blow to the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program in a string of legal challenges that has kept 500,000 so-called dreamers waiting for a resolution for more than a decade. The decision Friday does not immediately change the status quo. Program beneficiaries can still renew temporary permits to live and work in the United States without fear of deportation. But the federal government remains prohibited from issuing new applications. However, Friday's decision does create an opportunity for DACA to be appealed to the Supreme Court for a 3rd time. Former Oakland, California Mayor Sheng Tao, who was recalled by voters in November, has been indicted by a federal grand jury on corruption charges. In addition to Tao, the Justice Department charged her boyfriend, Andre Jones, the head of a local waste company, David Trung Duong, and Duong's son, Andy Hung Duong. In October 2022, Tao allegedly agreed to extend a city recycling services contract with California Waste Solutions, purchase housing units from the Duongs, and use her influence to help them. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.